How's it going, everyone? This is Brad Williams with Over 40 Fitness Hacks. I have with me in this season a new co-star, Mr. Dave Frost with Well Past 40 LLC. How's it going, Dave?
It's going well, Brad. Happy holidays. And, any day that ends in a Y is a great day to natter about health and fitness. At least that's my hypothesis. So thanks. How are you?
Absolutely. Doing well. Doing well.
Good.
Yeah. So I thought the first episode, as always, my listeners are accustomed to, a new season co-star comes on, kind of doing an overview of, how you got into fitness, what you're doing, any books you've done. I know you're an author of Kaboomer, Well Past 40, and also for seniors. But just, whatever you can give to my audience is kind of a baseline of where you've been going, what you've been doing.
Oh, well, I'll try to keep it brief because, I'm on my 69th lap around the sun. So I was born in Vermont, so I'm a native New Englander, a Yap. I do claim a lineage with Ralph Waldo Emerson and Robert Frost, the poet. I'm not as eloquent as them, certainly, but I hope that the words that I put down and the thoughts that I share are worthy of the family tree. I was a pretty fat little kid, and the Boy Scouts told me to do a pull-up if I wanted to get a merit badge in my preteen years. So I realized that fitness was a big deal if I wanted to make Eagle Scout. And when the Navy decided to offer me a chance to go to the Naval Academy, I realized that they were not kidding, that fitness was an important deal for what we used to call boot camp or plebe summer. So that over years and with a fair amount of sweat equity, the chubby little kid became a varsity rower and was honored to I was honored to be captain of the heavyweight crew. And believe it or not, I was named the Rusty Callow Award, which is the award for rowing, and was named as an outstanding college athlete of America. Many people were named that, but I was honored, and I was one of the 7 from the Naval Academy to receive that honor. I went into the surface Navy after graduation in 1975 and realized that if even running 22 laps around the flight deck was all I could do, I wanted to do it because motion is lotion, as I learned then. I got into parenthood and career like all of us do. But at the age of 49, I herniated my lower back, the disc in my lower back. So in 2001 was really the genesis of my new career in physical fitness as a master's rower in personal training to help others hopefully learn from my mistakes and avoid making them. Yeah. And then also to acquiring lessons, put them into blogs and even books. So 2001, that was my Phoenix moment. I realized with a herniated disc, I was not having fun. People asked me why I had such a pained look on my face. And for those folks that have had lumbar back problems, they know of what I speak. I ended up with spinal fusion surgery. And that was after walking with a corset around for 6 months, and 3 months, all the exercise I could get was walking in a pool until the fusion had taken hold. That's when I actually got back into rowing after a 29-year absence and started to build a portfolio of lessons learned. And I've kind of gained specialty training for folks with physical challenges. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, our wonderful Wounded Warrior program, I'm so sad about the root cause of that. Many soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marine, and Coast Guardsmen came back from Iran and Iraq and Afghanistan with traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder, or physical disabilities. And we found that the sport of rowing was wonderful therapy for them. It's a closed cycle, meaning you do the same thing over and over again, but you're out on the water, enjoying nature, working with teammates and bonding. And so from that, working with Wounded Warriors, then I was able to realize that there's a significant unfortunate on significant portions of our elder population that have challenges, whether it's osteoarthritis, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, autoimmune disorders, all sorts of things. But, at my age, we're all damaged goods. But as Robert Ford said, whether you think you can or cannot, you're right. So I'm really kind of zealous about asking folks to realize that everyone is an athlete, regardless of your challenges or your abilities. But let's keep moving. Let's keep smiling. Remember the 4 happy hormones: dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, and serotonin, which our gut manufactures primarily, and make those happy hormones offset the stresses of life, whether it's environmental pollutants, 5G, craziness that we hear on the news or read in the paper. How can we chuckle, laugh, hug, and have the happy hormones? So that's my mission in life, is to say, hey, I've had a tremendous run. I hope it's going to continue for another 30 years. I want to prove the Social Security Administration wrong. It says I'm going to die at 85. That's the actuarial number for the for the U.S. population. But I want to be an outlier. I'd like to live to 100, and with some luck, skill, and timing, maybe that'll happen. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, you're in a good industry to get yourself there better than most, I think.
Oh, you're kind. But it as Tom Hanks would say, you do have to do the work. Maybe there's a blessed person that doesn't have to worry about convenience food, or doesn't have to worry about generating sweat to have the good cytokine flows. But most of us have to do the work, and we should, and celebrate it. So so let's celebrate. It's the holidays. Let's make every day a holiday, every meal a banquet, right?
Yep, I agree. You sent me your audiobook. I haven't finished all of it, but I have gotten through a good chunk. But I really like the take on your book, Kaboomer, for all our listeners listening. But besides any physical things you have going on with you, we got to structurally fix that with therapy and time. But just stamina, just overall health and stamina being the currency of life, and that is what's going to get you to 100 or close as you can.
It's a big part of it, as we chatted about before you turn the on button. Maybe eating a baby aspirin when you get older is not so critical. In fact, maybe it causes inflammation instead of keeping your blood flowing. So we just have to be mindful. We have to ask all of our listeners and folks to be skeptical about what you read, hear, or think. Do a little research and be a smart 40-plus athlete. Because there is an awful lot of noise, as your listeners and Brad. Try to throw out the noise and focus on what's important.
Yep.
Not what Madison Avenue says. So.
And I love how you say 40-plus athlete, because a lot of people think athlete is football player or someone in their 20s. No. Being athletic is being athletic. You can be any age and still have athleticism to varying degrees. That's all that means. But
absolutely, Brad. And I'm a simple person, so I triage it, if you will. Do you want to be decent? Meaning, do you want to be as good as those of your gender, your socioeconomic background, because zip codes matter, and who your parents were matters. Do you want to be good? Do you want to be a little bit better than your peers in your age group? Or do you want to be great? And it's totally up to you. Most of us can be great. It may be in a different sport. It could be pickleball. It could be walking. It could be being the most active grandparent you can be. But I think being great is pretty darn good. Being decent is better than being abnormal. But hey, for those that want to be good or great, I say go for it. So whether you're talking about stamina, whether you're talking about stability, whether you're talking about stretching, whether you're talking about strength, or the all-important eating, or reducing stress, all good stuff. You can be the best you can be with a little bit of head work and a lot of body work. You can. Yes, you can.
Yep, I love it. Well, Dave, I just wanted to thank you for being on our show. It's been a pleasure. For all our listeners out there, if they want to get a hold of you or check out your book, do you have any social media profiles, website, or where can they find your book?
Well, even in my encore years, I do have a couple of social media channels. Twitter, DEFP Trainer. DEF, my initials, P for personal trainer. Facebook, wellness and fitness coaching, or you can look up David E. Frost. My website is Well Past 40, and the 40 is FORTY, no dashes, hyphens, or whatever. Well Past 40, which kind of resonates with over 40, doesn't it, for your domain? But wellpast40.com, and Kaboomer is listed on there. But it can also, Kaboomer, KABOOMER, can be bought wherever fine books are sold. The bookstore named after the river, Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, whatever. It's out there, as you mentioned, in your audiobook version of it. It's in audio, paperback, hardback, and ebook. It is an experiential journal of where I've been primarily since I blew out my back on September 11, 2001, by the way. That was my Phoenix moment when I hopefully turned my life around and maybe can help some other people. So Kaboomer is, and you just, there's not many Kaboomer references with Dr. Google. So if folks just type in Kaboomer, they'll probably find their way to a copy of it if they're interested.
Probably find it in the top 3, I'm sure.
It's a crowded field, but the audiobook that you're listening to, Brad, that's almost 8 hours. So, hopefully it's not droll, although it's this voice that you listen to. I tried to get a paid actor. Tom Hanks was busy, so I'm the narrator, and yet it has hopefully tips, tricks, and hacks for people to say what Henry Ford said. Whether you think you can or cannot, you're right. I want people to say, yes, I can. The little engine that could. Yes, you can. Even in one of the busiest decades of your life, in your 40s. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Well, I love it. Well, thank you, Dave, for jumping on the show with us. And I'm sure we'll pull you on in the future again. So, hopefully sometime in 2022, and I hope all your listeners get through the period when New Year's resolutions tend to fail, which is by Valentine's Day. So please pick specific, measurable, and achievable goals to be successful in your living habits, not crash and burn like 80% of all people who establish New Year's resolutions do. But I just wanted to share, resistance training is so important, as you know, but a lot of people don't realize these factors of senescence, sarcopenia, avoiding falls. I'm writing a sequel called Strong to Save. I believe in resistance training so much that I'll get you a copy when it gets finished. Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, thank you, Dave, once again. And our listeners, as always, I'll put all the links in the description of the podcast, and then we'll check you guys out next time.
Brad, thank you so much. Happy holidays. And to your listeners, thank you for listening. And again, yes, you can. You're an athlete. Yes, you can.
Awesome.